Hi guys, and welcome back. I have a crochet tutorial here for you. So I did do one previously like this, but I wanted to do another one since I've had a lot more practice and I'm kind of playing around with different bralette designs. So some are more triangle made in rows. This one here, I'm going to go through how I made it. Now, you don't have to change colors. I just like to make things hard on myself and give myself a bunch of ends to weave in. But this was the first one that I learned how to do, and then I found an easier one. You make it in rows, like within triangles, which I have right here. So this one, you would start basically either with a chain 2, 3, 4, and do a double crochet in the first chain. However, notice that my double crochet stitches are over on the right hand side. This type of pattern here, as you're making the first cup, you don't fasten off and make the second one and then join them. You keep it fastened on, you do your bridge, your chain, and then you go on to making your second one. So that causes it to not be going in the same direction, basically. So the one on the left, I actually have like the double crochet stitches going along the bottom, but this one here, they're going down the right hand side. So it really doesn't make a difference as to how it fits. It looks different. If you're going to do it right. So that was one I'm working on right now, and I basically am doing the same one. Just I have them, they're not joined. So, and I did a three chain and double crochet that way to make the triangle, which I'm going to show you guys towards the end. But yeah, so there's different ways to do it. It's kind of universal. So these are the two that I've been practicing. Now let's go back to the blue and green. So cotton yarn, I use all Bralette 100% cotton, and this is a 4mm crochet hook. It just so happens to match the yarn. I didn't do it on purpose. Now, if this is your first time doing it, I would highly recommend not swapping colors like me. Even my first time that I did it with acrylic yarn and alternated between sky blue and like bubblegum pink, then had a bunch of ends and I didn't realize, hey, I gotta weave these in. At the time, I didn't even know how to weave in ends. So anyways, do as I say, not as I do. If it's your first time and you don't like weaving in ends and just you want it simple, stick to one color. So the sizing, basically from the tutorial that I got, I'm going with a B cup, or sorry, she went with a B cup, which was a chain 13. I'm a C cup, which would be a medium, so I chained 15. Now, my patterns are made for my sizes, so I do definitely suggest that you get all your upper and mid body measurements for sure if you plan on making clothes. So just because I can't do all the conversions for you, I can show you what you need to measure, but I can't measure you. So yeah, any patterns that I may post or anything like that, they are to my measurements. Now, after I chained 15, I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and all the way down until you get to your very last chain. So now I'm at the very last chain here, and what you're going to do is you're going to work 3 single crochets in that same chain. And it's a bit of a struggle. I always struggle with beginning of the projects and just getting, a grip. Plus cotton, I don't know, it comes apart, it splits, and I don't know. Oh, I just wish clothes were made out of acrylic, but yes. So you are going to put 3 single crochets in that last stitch and have a stitch marker. I got out a green one because my other one was blue, the exact same color as the yarn. So I wanted you guys to be able to see it. So once you have your 3, and yeah, I messed up here, so I had to go back. Good old frogging. So when you have your 3 single crochets, you're going to place your stitch marker in the second one. So always the middle one. And when I say always, you'll see what I mean, because this is going to be a continuous thing that you're going to do each row. Now you are going to be working on, once you have those in, actually, like I mentioned, put the stitch marker in. So you've got your 3 there. You're going to put it in the second one, which will be the one directly smack dab in the middle. And you're not going to chain and turn and work along those single crochets. You're actually going to kind of, let's say, flip it, and you're going to be working on the other side of your foundation chain. So once I'm done struggling getting my stitch marker in, you can see that the parts where you would normally crochet into, like for the double crochet, is on the bottom. So you're going to crochet along the other side of your foundation chain, and if you know how, you can carry that tail and just cover up the tail as you crochet along the other side of the foundation chain. And when you're done, you're going to definitely want to make sure, well, you have to make sure that you have the same amount of stitches on each side. So you can watch me struggle here for a bit, but you're going to make sure you go through every chain. If you have a few little holes in the middle, like in between the 2 chains, that's fine. Usually goes away. There's, I guess, some tricks for it, but I don't find it's really that big of a problem. So right now, as you can see, I'm wrapping my single crochet around the tail as I'm crocheting. I had a really hard time kind of grasping this idea when I first saw it. Then I was watching how to make a leaf video, and it just, I don't know, kind of clicked. But sometimes it's just a big pain in the ass, and it's easier to just weave it in at the end. But so you're going to do the exact same thing. Now you're not going to put a single crochet in where you put your 3 single crochets. You're going to go to the next chain and then just work 1 single crochet in each chain all the way down till you get to the very end. Then when you get to the end, there's no stitch marker, hubbub, or whatever. You're done that row. You're done those 2 rows technically, which is also something I'm going to have to clarify of what counts as rows. I'm not sure for 13, if you chain 13, I know if you, for a medium, a C cup, if you chain 15, you do 12 rows. So I would do 12 rows. Now, I'm not sure if that middle part here that I'm working on counts as technically, 2 rows, because it's 1 on each side of the foundation chain. I tried to kind of count the one I was looking at in the tutorial, but there was no way. There was no way I was going to be able to do that. So anyways, yeah. So you're going to keep going, single crochet all the way down. And it's up to you, like I said before, whether you want to carry that yarn over. It can get annoying, especially as you get closer to the end. And this is what you should end up with. Now, you're going to have to make sure that you have the same amount of stitches on each side. So just for my mental health, I don't count the one in the middle. And then, excuse me, it'll give you an even number on each side. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And not counting the one in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I've got 14 on each side, and then the one in the middle that has the 3 double crochets, the middle of the, or sorry, the 3 single crochets in the middle. So technically there's, I don't want to say 15, but 14 on each side, and then that one in the top middle. So there, that part is done. Now, normally you would just chain 1, turn, and repeat the process, but I like to work hard, not smart, and I'm alternating colors yet again. So it's just basically the same thing, except now you're going to be working in the single crochet stitches. So you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work, and you're going to work a single crochet in that very first stitch. So the very first single or last single crochet from your previous round, you're going to work a single crochet in there and then all the way across until you get to your stitch marker again. So the very, very first stitch, single crochet, and like I said, you're going to do every stitch until you get to the stitch marker. And I'm not sure how you guys, if you make clothes or not, or just trying to see how to, I don't know, just what the tutorial is all about, but I tend to make mine, these bralette types of bralettes anyways, I tend to make them quite tight. I do blocking afterwards, which I've only done with acrylic so far. I haven't blocked any cotton, but the triangle ones are definitely a lot looser, and I think even some of the triangle ones would be recommended to put some, maybe a lining in it. It's not made to be like a bathing suit that you wear in the water. It's not very, absorbent or hygienic in that sense, but as a top, perfectly fine. So again, just crochet all the way up to that stitch marker, and we're going to stop when we get to that stitch marker. All right, so we are now at the first of the 3 single crochets that we put. So I take my stitch marker out. If you're scared you're gonna not remember, you can leave it in if you know how to work around your stitch marker. And then you're going to work 3 more single crochets in that center single crochet where you had your stitch marker. So you had 3 previous single crochets all in one stitch. The middle one had the stitch marker, and so in that middle single crochet, you're going to do 3 more single crochets and yet again mark the middle one. So you see there's 3 there. Technically that's the second one, and right there in the middle, and you're just going to pop your stitch marker back in so you know where to stop, and then just continue down the side with single crochets like you did the last time. So start right where the next stitch is, and this is what you'll end up with. Hopefully you don't have a bunch of ends to weave in like I do. And this is the other one that I was working on previously before I decided to do the tutorial. So I'm going to be working on this one to make it a little bit bigger, and then we'll see. I still need to kind of practice and work on joining the bralettes together. I haven't gotten even a chance to make straps yet, or I got front mesh part done, but not around the back yet. So there's still a lot of work to be done. I've just really been practicing the bralettes. Now, this is the other one that's similar to the first one I showed you. However, this one, I made the one on the right here, I made that one first and I fastened it off. So I didn't work them together. Then I made the second cup and I left it fastened to my working yarn. But if you notice, now I can line them up so that the double crochet stitches are along the bottom, and I usually make a border to go, or an edging to go around them. You're obviously going to have to do an edging across the bottom. It's up to you whether you want to go all the way around the whole triangle or not. I might actually I've got a really pretty lavender purple. Actually, that would match. I didn't realize that the lavender is pretty much the exact same that is in. We'll see. We'll see how this turns out. Because my pattern calls for if you want to do a full edging or an edging around it, you do that before you join the cups together. And this is where the other one would turn out like that. Basically, if you started with one cup and then you do basically a chain 3 and then they're attached together and you start making the second cup, it doesn't work out. And this is the giant ball of yarn that, as per Yarnspirations, does not have a middle pull. Would have been nice to have on the label, honestly. I spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure out why I could not get any yarn out of the middle. I even ended up cutting it. Needless to say, I've got a new one coming in the mail any minute. Any minute. Because I was sweating, and apparently they are not manufactured to have a center pull. They are worked from around. Now I'm going to show you one of the ones that I made back just with acrylic yarn, and I'm actually quite proud of it. It was probably one of my first or second attempts, and I'm surprised at actually how far I got. But first of all, as you can see, the right one here is smaller than the left one. The regular mesh pattern isn't lined up properly. So at least I know what I did wrong. So I wasn't going to keep on going. I wasn't going to keep making a project sure. Like, this was just for practice. But it's actually quite soft. So I'm not really sure, like they say, clothes should be made with cotton, but this I think it's red heart stripes, soft something, but it's soft, and I think it would feel good. So yeah, I need to just practice some more on joining them together, getting a nice type of edging around it, a nice border, nothing fancy, just a single crochet all the way around. When you get to each corner, you're going to do 2 or 3 single crochets at the corner, and then just single crochet down the edges. Then I believe it's the mesh part, and I'm going to be doing a diamond mesh, so I believe that part, then straps and back straps. So I've still got quite a ways to go, quite a bit to learn, but I'm extremely excited at how all of these are turning out, and stay tuned for part 2 where I have more and finished results.